Well, hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm glad you guys are here again. So, our last video, when we were working on that hot air engine that was sitting right there, I was saying, well, I'm not sure what we're going to work on next, but we'll come up with something. And I was thinking about, well, certain projects that we've not finished yet. You guys remember this thing? This is that H76 twin cylinder. And yeah, it fought me, and I guess I banished it to the corner so it could think about the way it acted. Well, I guess that day's come. Let's tear into it, and we'll figure out why we're burning water on one side, and hopefully we can get this little monster running the way it's supposed to. So what I think has happened is these have a wet sleeve, and I think we've lost an O-ring, or I rolled it when I pulled it out last time, and it's just not sealing. So, all right. Well, let me get you guys to where you can see, and we'll pull the heads off of it and tear into it. Hopefully we'll have a running model by the time it's all done, and if you guys have one of these, well, maybe my efforts will be fruitful to you. You guys can solve your issues if you have the same thing. So, all right, I'll shut up, get you guys situated, we'll get to work. Okay, well, I'm going to start by getting this water hopper out of the way. We'll get this moved. That way, it's not in your guys' way. And yeah, you guys are looking a whole lot different at this bench than normal. So, all right, I'll get this thing off of here. We'll get it out of the way. Then we can all see what we're doing a little bit better. I can work around the camera. You guys will get to see as we go. All right, we're ready to pull this off. I've got the lines disconnected from our return, from our feed on the backside of our pump. There. Now we can see what's going on a little bit better. I'll get our hardware and I'm going to set that right there inside that tank. It's got a little screen in the top. You guys see that? So we're not going to have to worry about losing, they'll be inside there. We can find them. We get this thing to operate the way, well, hell, if it runs the way it's supposed to, it may end up coming off of this base, and we'll mount it to something a little bit nicer and maybe make a screen type cooler like that H73. I'll put a link to that one up there. So, all right, let me get busy. We're going to take these heads off together as an assembly, so that way we don't have to worry about fighting anything down in here. I'm not sure why they have it turned. We've flipped it already once, but with a rotary barrel carb, when you open it a little bit, it's going to tend to feed one side more than the other. But if we have it turned, well, 90 degrees from what it is, it'll hit the front side or the back side of this and only have a choice to go through both instead of favoring one cylinder or the other. So I guess we could pull it off. And we'll just pull the whole thing off as an assembly. Let me give it an Allen wrench. I'll start taking our head bolts off. So before we start pulling these off, there, now you guys might be able to see it. Right in here, these are head bolts also. They hold our rocker assemblies on. We're not going to be able to access those, so we have to pull our rocker shaft that runs through here that these pivot on. That has to come out so we have access. So I guess I'll get those popped off, and hopefully we don't launch this halfway across the shop. But I guess we'll give it a try, won't we? Not to launch it, just to get it off. All right. Try a small flat screwdriver. I'll get this turned to where I can see it. Hopefully you guys can still see. I mean, it's right here, so. And the other one is the same way, but it's going to be really hard for you guys to see because it's in between. So let me try to get this off of here. Starting to come up and out of there, so just want to make sure we don't lose it. There, It's loose. Real small, guys. Sorry, my hands are going to be in your way, but there. Focus. There. See that? That little E-clip is what holds that shaft in. So we'll put him here. I'll get the other side off, and we'll get back to pulling our head bolts. Okay, we'll pull this fuel line off, and all the fuel's evaporated, but it's left our oil residue behind. So get him out of the way so you guys can see what we're doing. Push this pin over. Make sure there. We got our tension off of our rockers. I've already got this side off, but we got to pull this rocker shaft out. Come on. For some reason, this one wants to fight, like as you guys are watching. So we got that one off. We'll take our push rod. We'll keep these in order so we know which side goes where. Put them over here out of the road. We'll get this side off. There you go. Put him back over here. And we'll take our push rod and put it with it. Now I can get started taking these head bolts off. We'll pull both of these off as an assembly, and then we can have access to our cylinder liners. Here we go. Well, let's get this propped up so you guys can see a little bit better. There, how's that? Hopefully we can get these little blocks to stay underneath so you guys can see what's going on. Might have to, I guess I'll just sit here and hold it. It's going to be an extreme close-up of the back of my hand, I'm sure, but we've got everything out except these two up here. Yeah, sorry guys. Get this one out. We'll pull these heads off together. I broke them all loose, and I'm just spinning them out now, so. Okay, they should all come out of there. So let me try to wiggle this head assembly off with both of them. There we are. Our gaskets are still in place. And well, there's the O-ring from the other side. So we'll set our head assembly back over here. See it? Back there. And all right, I'll get this set down out of the way. And man, I wish I knew where that water was coming from. But we'll figure it out, right? All right, let's there's that one. And honestly, guys, it's been long enough. I don't remember which side was burning water, but we know we had one of them, and so it's kind of a pain in the butt, but we got to fix it. This one here does have a little bit of, I thought that was damaged. Focus, damn it. Maybe not. We do have some O-ring material here, it looks like. Alright, well, we'll set that one out of the way. I'll get this one tugged loose. We'll get it figured out. Now this one here wants to stay in place. We'll get it out of there. Give me a second. Well, I tried wiggling it, turning it, and it wouldn't turn. But I pulled and it came right off. And I think we might have found our issue. Get this out of the way. See if you guys spot it right off the bat too. You guys see it? See this O-ring right here? Well, I just dropped it down into its belly pan, but it was split. It's supposed to live right there. It was over here. There it is. See if I can show you guys. I'll keep it on my finger. Come on. There you go. Well, I guess now that we know what that problem was, yeah, we also got this broken stud here, or broken screw. We might put studs in some of this. And yeah, as bad as it sucks, we're not going to be able to finish this tonight because I know I don't have an O-ring that size. The thought crossed my mind. It's about the same size, right? So I cut a small section of that silicone tube off. Let's see if I can show you guys. Right here. Focus in. But it's too big. So I guess we are going to wait until I can go after the 4th of July and get a couple replacement O-rings. Then we'll put it back together and maybe have one that'll run on both and not put a water out on us. So, well, guys, it's been nearly a week. That part that you guys just saw, I recorded that on the 4th. And, well, here it is Monday. It's the 10th. Because, well, believe it or not, to find an O-ring this size, that's a real pain. Nobody has them in stock. So, yeah, well, you got to order everything. And, well, the Jungle website, they came through, and we only need a couple of them. I'll be damned if we don't have a whole bag full. So, that's good. Hopefully, we can get this to seal. We don't have to go back into it. And I guess while I had to wait for things to come in, these O-rings here, I found these in silicone, steam grade. So, well, if it gets hot, it's water cooled. Who knows? We'll replace them, and I guess while we're at it, we do have replacement piston rings. It's not going to get any easier than it is right now. When it comes to this stud here that's broke off, let me pull this out of the road. Get these guys out of here. This broke on the way out, and it turned about 2 turns and then it quit. I don't know what was going on, but it comes right out. So, you guys see that little guy? We'll put him out of the way. And I could not find a replacement screw this length. But I do have 2mm stainless steel threaded rod and stainless steel nuts. So we'll put a stud, we'll put him down here so we can easily access it. But enough yammering, carrying on. Get this thing, let's get it back together. Kind of tired of it sitting on the bench, and I really want to see this one run and run properly. So, all right, let me get busy. We're going to roll this ahead. I got to get these pistons lined up and get them up here. We'll fish these rings out. We'll re-ring our water jacket here. Put our new O-rings in it. We'll grease it all up with, well, it's a synthetic grease, so we don't roll our O-rings as we stick it in. We'll make sure that we get these little O-rings in where they need to be. We'll start putting it back together. I'll bring you guys in. Well, we'll keep going on it. I guess you've seen me do the rings on it once, and you've seen these cylinders out of it once. If not, well, it'll be right up there. So, all right, let me get busy. So I thought I'd share this with you guys. Did the rings, did this side, got this one out, and yeah, I had to pull them out. But you guys see here? I'll show you. There's no hole. There's a hole here. That's for oiling it. pistons run this way. Yeah. All right, well, we'll fix that. That'll be an easy one. Push our wrist pin out, turn our rod over with the hole facing up this time, the way it should have been. Get him lined back up. Stick it in. We'll bolt it back together. Yeah, we'll keep going. But yep, new piston rings. The old ones are laying, well, right there. All right, let me keep moving ahead. Okay, replacement rings are installed. I'll get these old ones out of the way. And this in here, I did cut it, getting it out, but that's fine. We got new ones in there anyhow. So, and we'll take a look down here from the top side. It's probably going to be hard to see, but let me grab this pick. Right here are our oil holes. They're both facing up now, so we can oil them. Pretty convenient. Once again, guys, I think we are just the test mules in the quality control department here. So, but we keep buying them. They'll keep building them. So let me get the O-rings replaced on these. And when I said that we're just going to use some silicone-based grease, it's right here. Synthetic multi-purpose grease. It's pretty good stuff. We're going to use that when we put down here for, you guys can't even see. Let me show you. Our recesses here and here, where that O-ring had failed. We're going to put a little bit of that on there to hold them this time. And let's slide our cylinder liners back in. Keep moving ahead. All right. There we go. One down, one to go. And you guys got to take these off if you need to. Just kind of squeeze and pinch. You guys get that little bit of a lip stuck up. Put your finger up against it. Just roll them right off. Put them in the pile with the rest of them. Do the same thing down here on the other end. And reminds you, we're not going to be saving these. So if you tear them, they're torn. It's no big deal. You got to put your new one on, start it, make sure it's lined up, and just roll it down. It'll drop into that first slot. Get your second ring. Start it on there. Roll it back and forth, make sure it's lined up, and roll it right over that first one. So there you go. Just like that. We'll continue on. Put the next two on. We're going to put some, some of that grease. Put some on the inside. Slowly work it in. We got to get our little water jacket ones in here too. So I'll keep moving on this. We'll get this ready to go. Hopefully we can finish this one here tonight. It'd be kind of nice. I'd like to see it run. I'd like to hear it run. And hopefully you guys do too. All right. Let me get this last one put on. We'll keep moving ahead. Well, there we are, guys. Right up in your face. We've got these all put back together. What we're going to do is we'll scoot them out of the way. We're going to use this. And we'll get a couple of these very, very small O-rings. Knock them out down here. There we go. We got two of them. Put a little bit of this grease on our fingers just to pick them up, hold them in position. And I guess I got to get these out of the road. There we go. All right. Yeah, that looked pretty violent, I'm sure, but we want to make sure they don't migrate and move. So get some on both sides and stick him in there. Yeah, we'll stick it in there. Doggone. We're going to make sure it's all the way down there in its pocket. Now, those should be right where they need to be. You guys probably didn't see any of that because, well, meat paws right in your way. So we're set at top dead center. What we're going to do is we're going to put some of this lube. That way we don't roll our O-rings. Wipe off any excess that we don't need because, well, you guys know that silicone repels water. This is a water-cooled engine. I'm going to put some here on our inlet side where we're going to stick it into our piston. We're going to sit here and slowly work it on there so we don't roll our piston ring off. Do this together. Let me turn this so you guys can see what the hell we're doing. We've engaged our piston ring. Our first water seal. Our second water seal. We're good to go. Come back here. And we're going to stop right there. If you guys can see that excess squish out, I'm going to get a rag. We'll clean that up. I'll do the same thing with the other side. And well, hopefully you guys can see that squish out. Yeah, that's all the excess grease. So, kind of verify nothing's moved underneath. Yeah, and look down in here. We're good to go. All right, let me get that cleaned up. We'll shove him back. I'll do the same thing on that side. Get back together and put the heads on this thing. And once again, we are going to put that stainless stud with a nut down here so it's easily accessible. We'll make a new, new head screw to match the rest of it. Well, we've got our cylinder liners back in, and we did not slip our little water passage O-rings this time. Let's see. Nice. Okay. Well, hey, let's get ready. We'll get our head put back up here. And hopefully, guys, we'll have this thing back together. So, let me get to it. I think we'll be okay. All right, looks good, guys. Let me get these all tightened down, bolted in. I'll show you guys when we get done. We'll come back and we got to put our rockers on and whatnot. So, yeah, I think we're going to be okay. Everything seems like it lines up just the way it's supposed to. We've got equal amounts sticking out on our bolts. You guys can see. There. So, all right. Let me put this back together. Okay, we've got them all in. And right here's where our stud is with our nut. Make sure. Click. There we go. Heads are bolted back on. Okay, let's see what we've got compression wise. I think we're going to be okay, guys. All right, well, get this stuff out of the road. Let's start putting our valve train back together. I'll get this moved, get you guys situated. Yeah. There. All right, let's get the valve train put back together. There. Now you guys can see. So how this works is our push rod rides, get up there and see it, right here. And then this here, show it. This is our adjustment right here, in and out. So that's going to sit in here just like this. We got to get this. We still have our little circlip that retains all this together. These will drop in just like that. Our push rods will ride here from our lifters up to the front. Actuator valves. So let me get these all put together and get our circlip back on. Hopefully we don't launch it across the shop, because if we do, dang it, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. So yeah, they'll ride just like this. So let me get that circlip put back on here. I don't think I have enough clearance to get it pushed through the other way, so yeah, we'll see. All right, get the rest of it put together. Well, guys, I don't know how we did it, but we got it done. Get in there and say it. There. We have this little itty bitty E-clip mounted back on. We're good to go. We did it on the other side. So, all right. Let's stick our push rods in. We've kept these in order. And start down here. Put it on our cam. And just open our valve. And slip it in. Not sure how imperative it is that they be kept in line, but you know, just like everything else, it wore in this way, even though we haven't got to run this damn thing much. That's the way that they put it together overseas. So we'll put it back together that way, but you know, they put a lot of other things together overseas, and we've dug back into it. Pick this one back up off the floor, and yeah, we'll get it in there. There ain't a whole lot of room, guys. These head bolts are 2mm, so she's just a little pup. One of these days, we're going to get out there outside, work on something a little bit bigger. I don't know if you guys will want to see it or not, but well, that's going to be coming up too. So let's get the last one put back in, hopefully. There. We have good compression. No binding. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're about as ready to run this as we're going to be. Get our fuel line hooked back up. And let's try to run this one here first before we put some coolant in it. And yes, I did turn the carburetor on the manifold. Trying to keep my paw out of your way. All right. I don't like where that's riding. We're going to come up with a better solution for that, but all right. Get our other plug wire on. I'll get some fuel in here. Get it set up to where you guys can see what's going to happen next. And hopefully, guys, I hope this thing is finally going to run and run the way it's supposed to. Because honestly, I've pretty much had it with this engine. But we need to give it a fair shake. We'll go through, we'll oil it, put some fuel in here, and yeah. All right. See you guys in just a second. All right. Well, hopefully you guys can see okay. We're going to do this all in one shot. Hopefully it works out good. Add our fuel. 40 to 1, you know, ethanol free VP fuel. And I've already shot it up into the carburetor. So, yeah, let me come up with a better way to do this. Take our pickup tube off, so we have a little bit of space. I'll spill it everywhere. That'll be perfect. There. So our tank is full, and if you guys saw it, run up here, but hopefully we didn't flood the tar out of it. Get our fuel cap put back on. We've got our little DeWalt drill set up. Once again, full range of motion, no binding, no tight spots. Listen. You guys hear the ignition snapping? Okay, let's just go for it. Wide open. This is idle now. There we go. It's kind of trying. A little bit. Hmm. It is a running model, guys. This cylinder's warm. That cylinder's warm. Down to one cylinder again. Now it's running on both. I'm not going to let it sit here and run too long. It's going to overheat. But well, we do have a running model. I guess I need to probably put our cooling cylinder back on here and hook up our water cooling, our liquid cooling, and make sure we have no leaks. We'll fire it up, let it sit here and run for a little bit longer. And if we have no leaks and it runs on both, I guess the next video you guys get to see, we're going to build a H73 right up there. You guys will get to see that. So, all right, let me get this put back on. We'll get some coolant in there. See what we got, fellas. Wish us luck. All right, guys. Well, we have our cooling hopper back on. Have our water pump hooked back up, and all of our cooling lines. We're just going to put some distilled water in here, and well, I think it's going to be a while before we see below freezing temperatures. And wonderful. It's full. All right. Well, let's see if it'll fire back up. Let's see if our water level goes back down in our hopper. You guys can see it up here. It's full. So make sure we have our switch on. That'll help. There. That's better. Damn thing. I'm telling you guys. The water pump hasn't picked it up yet. We are running on 2 cylinders. Running a lot faster than I think it should, but See if I can coax this water pump to cooperate a little bit. See the water bubble here. We're running on 2. We can't tell if we have any leaks or not yet. Water pump is working. And the water level went down. Hopefully it's pumping it through and we don't see it leaking anywhere. There it comes. We are running on 2 cylinders. I'm running a whole lot faster than I want to see it run. That's a little better. So far, no leaks. This is my mess down here. This one sure does make plenty of heat. It needs a bigger cooling system. Well guys, guess what? I'm going to subject you to another video on this one, believe it or not. Look at him dial in a whole lot closer. Now that it's running on 2 cylinders, and we're not pissing water out from underneath, maybe it's justifiable to do some more work to it. So we got plenty of oil going through it. Alright guys, well, hey, hopefully you enjoyed this one. And the next one, we're not going to make it take as long as it took this one. We had to wait for parts. But cooling system is flowing, is working. We're not leaking. We're running on 2 cylinders. I guess I consider that a win. So, alright, hey, if you guys enjoyed this, let me know. Leave me a comment underneath. If you're not subscribed, well, right here in the center of the flywheel, click right there. Subscribe, share this, just keep growing the channel. I appreciate it, guys. See you soon.